What's good, YouTube? We're back with another market watch today, and the first thing here is that near mint practicals have impractically sold out. So, puns aside, this is because it's an instant fusion dinosaur at level 5 target that makes Zulkan with your Dinglong. So, Dinglong is a you can make Dinglong with one card in dinosaurs. You go Overraptor, you pitch Miscellaneous Source, you get the tuner, you make Dinglong. So with instant fusion, it's a 2-card Zulkan that's very, very accessible. My problems with Practical are that it eats up a lot of extra deck space to have Practical, Zulkan, and then 1 or 2 Zulkan targets. And what this was actually hyped around, and as you see, there's actually one near mint at 6. And near mint doesn't really matter, right? Near mint doesn't really matter on an extra deck card, so you could buy this $1 right here, even though it's damaged, and still play it as long as it's completely readable and seeable. What I find really funny is Dragoonity Knight Trident, kind of the cause of the entire combo, has completely tanked, but after learning that Practical's the best kind of target for instant fusion because it puts a dinosaur in your graveyard, which is good for Miscellaneous Source. It's good for Conductor Tyranno. This is continuing to tank out from its hype and get listed lower, all the way to $9 lowest. I think we saw it 20 lowest at one point, then down to 15, and now it's all the way down half at 9, and I think it's just going to continue to fall. Let's check out sold listings and go to end date recent first, because I just want to double check. And there are some sales at 9s and 11s, people who couldn't wait and really thought the combo was really good. But the price just continues to go down, and I don't think it's too viable. I think you would be running, you don't have to run extra because you send Zulkan and Trident every time, but it's only good against decks that heavily rely on the extra deck. So it might be a good side deck choice, Zulkan, this, Practical, but that's 3 slots out of your side deck. You're probably already running instant fusion, though. I just think that with instant fusion and dinosaurs, you end with much, much better boards, such as getting that extra Dweller that with 2200 attack that's very good against the true Dracos, and also very good against dinosaurs themselves. You can get to many ways to get to, like, Zulkan. If you're running Megalo Smasher X, you can get to Frog. There's just so many different boards that I think would be better. But I just also wanted to show an example of what a McDonald's pack, like this is an Instant Fusion 5 Aqua, if it suddenly became relevant, you still today could get things like a playset at $1. So it's just about that type relevancy and a hype combo. I personally don't think it's a Practical combo, though. But, as we see, people did rush out and get all the near mints, and the lowest new one is 6. I think it'll quickly, well, not quickly, it's an old card, right? But I think it will eventually cool back down. People will pick bulk, find it, list it, and eventually the quantities will rise back. And whoever bought them out will eventually list them too. They probably got them really cheap, and listing at $2 will probably be profit on it. So that it'll definitely cool off given some time. Something else that I would just wanted to note, since Zulkan is the main part of the combo, he's only $1.70. We've seen Zulkan get really hyped before. Obviously, it's more people going out for pieces of a semi-hype combo, but Ultra Zulkan is getting pretty low for what it is. So if you've waited and waited for your Ultra Rare, don't make the mistake and like be like, oh, I missed out again when this card gets hyped realistically in a meta. Remember, when he special summons from the extra, it's still pretty darn good to get a Crystal Wing or something else in a lot of decks. So I would just say he's still a decent card. I would consider getting the Ultra here at this price. And the only thing that could really hurt him is a reprint. And I'm sure we could see some kind of reprint in an Astral pack / OP pack, OTS pack one day. I just don't know that I would hold off on the ultra highest rarity. Like, the only way that if there's a cooler version that I would regret getting this is if there's an ultimate that comes out. Like, an ulti of this would look amazing. And we see over here that the supers are actually a bit higher on eBay. So I'm really loving that back and forth that TCG players have been giving lately. I know I'm a broken record with this one, but always check both. There's no reason just to check one or the other. You can, you know, that's a pretty big deal, like percent-wise, $1.70 lowest versus $2.50 lowest. So it's just, you know, and they have 6 of them. There's no reason to, like, hold off on getting a Zulkan if you've waited forever. It's at a pretty low price for what it is. Fellas, what are you doing here? She's been up for a while, and she continues to sneak up. You can see she's above both of her market prices. It's just really interesting that Twilight Sworn hype seems to be hitting everything across the board. However good or not it is, it seems that Light Sworn stock seems to keep going up. We see there is a brand new buy it now at $10, then $11 here as well. And I do believe there's a decent amount of sold listings if we go to sold and then go to end date recent first, because lowest isn't. Auctions go low sometimes. And we see it's actually was selling a bit higher for a few of them. So just I didn't know this card was money. If you have it, you just have a pretty penny of a card for what it is, in my opinion. I would go ahead and trade or sell now. The hype train will revive as the set comes closer to TCG on release, but I don't think she's necessarily all that, and I would definitely consider selling. So don't let yourself get ripped off. Don't sell it for 5 or 6. It's still, you know, trailing upwards comparatively to its market price. It's just something I wouldn't have known. If I was trading and it was in the back of my trade binder, I wouldn't have known. So I like to educate people and be like, hey guys, I didn't know this one. Maybe you guys didn't know this one. That's sort of what this highlight of Fellas is. What are you doing here, Fellas? One thing that's kind of cool is the small Yang Zings are up versus their market price, and mainly Suanni. But Dinosaur Yang Zings is a deck, and you run a small Yang Zing engine. You mainly run Suanni, Chiwin, and Beyond, and you're able to do some pretty cool plays and actually make use of Dinglong getting, I believe it's 9 paths of the Yang Zing, or pillars, I'm not sure which. It might be pillars. Yeah, 9 pillars of the Yang Zing. The negation counter trap. And Suanni here is one of the pieces that you play, and it's just cool to see $2.40 versus $1.76, so that's a pretty big increase. And we see $2 and, you know, about 20 cents versus $1.40. And here on eBay, the lowest is actually from Canada before it's $2.80. So you're going to international shipping all the way for the lowest prices. And it's just kind of cool to see that the pieces of that are rising. And when I say cool, you know, higher prices aren't cool, but it's cool to see the archetype finally get some recognition, and the market reflects that. So a lot of people are kind of testing out Dinosaur Yang Zing and the little Yang Zing engine within Dinos. A bunch of people have asked me what I thought, and I think it's actually pretty good, but it does add some inconsistencies to the deck. I feel you're playing what people like to call more garnets. And Chiwin is actually still at its market price, so it's just interesting to note how, you know, the highest piece of this package isn't rising, but the smaller pieces are. And we see it's $4, $4.40, $4.40, so it has a low of 4. I don't know if I've actually refreshed this from last night either. I usually go through and refresh all my tabs to be like, all right. So let's make sure. Chiwin, he has 2 versions, not just the Mega Pack. Yeah, and the real DUEA First Ed Ultra is a little bit higher at $5 lowest here. So Chiwin's, you know, just one of those interesting cards that, you know, this is the highest, you know, kind of piece of what you're playing in terms of rarity and hard to get, because Suanni has multiple versions too, as does Beyond. It's just interesting, you know, when the lower pieces start creeping up, but the higher haven't yet. It's something to watch. I wouldn't say necessarily go get it, go try it. It's not me. It may not be you, but it's something that a lot of people are trying out. And we see that Beyond is still at that dollar mark, so Beyond hasn't really spiked any. I believe he's like a 1 or 2 of typically. He makes your synchro that you make with him unkillable by battle, which is really cool. And, of course, the synchro plays during your opponent's turns are also pretty nice. And a card, another one of those, I just didn't know this was money, is that HoC is 540, and I'm guessing that's because of the Oracle hype. The decks playing Oracle need to play this, if I'm not mistaken. Oracle of Zephyra. And we see he's a lowest of, let's go to buy it now, 545, 550 here on eBay. So pretty dead even here across the board. But it's just another one of those cards. If it was in the back of my trade binder and somebody had said 2, I probably wouldn't have thought about it. I'll be like, super rare, sure, you know. But it actually is worth something. So just a, hey guys, don't get ripped off. I would have got ripped off here. Kind of look out from me. And my final card is a suggestion to get now rather than later if you're a dinosaur duelist. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber is $2. I think a lot of dinosaur duelists are siding this with some more kaijus. You main 1 to 2 Dogorons as is now, in almost every single build. You want to search Dogoron, you want to get him, you want to have access to him. Oviraptor, being able to get him is broken. But now you can side Gamma Seal and Humongous and play this, and it helps you out Masterpiece a lot easier. I think outing Masterpiece is going to be a big thing for this deck, as well as being able to just kill Dridents when you don't draw your Miscellaneous Source right off the bat. I think this is really good against both Zoo and the True Dracos. Typically, they're not doing the spells. Typically, they tribute a trap and a monster, and then the trap will net them some kind of advantage versus you. And I think this really, really helps, especially after Masterpiece. So how I would play it typically is I would hold it until after Masterpiece hits the board, or if I can read that they don't have it because they've card itemized or whatever. I think this is a really good card. But again, it's another card that Ghost Dash can hit, huh? But it's really, really just a good card overall. And it's at a low point of $2. It's been lower than that, of course, but right now that is down from where it was at. And I would get it for side deck capabilities in the deck, especially since you're already maining 1 kaiju, most of you guys. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys thought about me covering cards that may not have changed in price, but I personally didn't know. Do I just sound like a crazy guy? Like, oh, look, Phallus is up. Oh, look, Zephyroxy is up. Well, like I said, if they were my trade binder, I would have got. And I'm just looking out for you guys. Practical is impractical to me. You know, having to shove that much into your extra deck, but Zulkan is a very good card, so maybe some of you guys find it worth it to do something besides the Trident play. I just think usually you want to go for Norden and something else. Thanks for watching, guys. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it.